Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today I'm so excited because I finally got my hands on a brand new Ohuhu Honolulu S alcohol marker set. And thank you Ohuhu for sending me this beautiful set. I really appreciate it. And today's video sponsor is also from Ohuhu. So as you can see, this beautiful set is inside a canvas box, which is very signature Ohuhu style, and the 60 colors dual tubes with soft brush and soft chisel. That is the one that I get today. You all know I have been a huge fan of Ohuhu markers for years, so of course I have to test these out and compare them to the previous set that I own at home. Even though I've been using Ohuhu marker for years now, but I am still curious about what is the difference between the Honolulu S series and the previous series that I got. And according to the information I got from the book right here, what makes it different is the chisel tips. It's not the hard blocky one from the Ohuhu series like a previous set that I got. This means that blending feels smoother and you can go from sharp edges to softer gradients really easily. So now I can't wait to start to try them out. The first impression about this set is it looks very professional. The paint holes in my hands very sturdy and it's more round shape than the Ohuhu series, which is kind of like a bean shape. And you can see that the chisel tip is kind of like flatter than the previous chisel tip. When I put it side by side to test with my Ohuhu set, the difference in feel is noticeable. The Ohuhu has that feeling classic bold chisel, while this one feels more versatile, almost like it's melting you halfway between brush and chisel. Also, I quickly noticed that there is a difference between the text on the Ohuhu set and Honolulu S set is they have the ACMI AP Certified and confirms to ASTM D-4236. I look it up and that basically means they've been tested by the professional and considered safe for artists to use. The inks are non-toxic and the signature alcohol marker smell is actually less heavy than some of my other sets. I've been battling with seasonal allergies right now and honestly the smell doesn't bother me that much. Okay, now let's start to swatching. The Honolulu S has 60 carefully chosen tones that lean into illustration and mood building. And I can't resist a full swatching session. Let's swatch all these colors together. And honestly, this is my favorite part because it feels like opening a box of candy. This soft chisel tips is unique to the Honolulu S series and it's paired with the brush tip. Honestly, I think this is the best combination. Personally, I don't enjoy drawing with the fine tips because I cannot blend well with them or cover larger areas. If I have to pick one set from Ohuhu, I would definitely go with the brush and chisel combo. So if you would like to purchase this new beautiful set, you can visit ohuhu.com and don't forget to use the code ZOER10 to get 10% off. or you can also purchase them on Amazon. All the link about the products I leave in the description box below. After swatching, I'm going to build an autumn mood board with 3 mini paintings. I carefully pick out some main colors that I'm gonna use. Of course, I'm gonna use more than this, but this is gonna be our main palette for today, Persimmon. The main color of Persimmon is gonna be orange, so yeah, of course we're gonna have a bunch of burnt orange and yellow. And then I pick a light violet and light blue for the shadow. So I'll start with fairly light yellow. Then I go deepen with a mid yellow and burnt orange. To make it pop, I like to play with complementary colors. Orange against a hint of purple or blue in the shadow areas. That contrast makes the fruit look more vibrant and 3D. And because markers are transparent, blending those layers takes patience. Go back in with the lighter marker to soften the edges, almost like pushing the darker ink into the paper. For the cloth behind the persimmon, I basically just gonna pick some light gray and cool gray to draw the pattern around them. Try to make it look more dynamic, but not very detailed either, because I want people focus on the persimmon, and then later I'm gonna go very detailed on our fruit by using color pencil. I'm using a white gel ink to create the highlights on the persimmon. This step you can use wash as well, it's gonna work just fine. The second piece will be a pumpkin patch. Here I'll show you how to use the chisel tip to cover a large area quickly, then switch back to the brush tip for the curve and the detail on the pumpkin. The color and the approaching process almost the same with the persimmon. I always start with very light yellow, and then I go deepen with mid yellow and then a little light orange. And at the end, you're gonna add some final detail with a rich red or brown for our pumpkin. The reason why I really like to paint pumpkin as a still life object because they have such an organic shape that pretty challenging to paint with. It's not that simple like a apple or a pear because they have so many curves, and then you have to make sure that they form correct, the shape correct, and the colors on their skin changing. Now I start to fill all the background with a pretty dark olive green, and you can see that I accidentally put a very dark color on our pumpkin. That's why that I really careful when I choose the shadow color for our object. It's hard to fix this, but it's okay. I think I can cover it a bit with color pencil later. For the third piece, I'm gonna paint the autumn mountain landscape. It's all about building layers of trees in the different colors like yellow, reds, and browns, fading into the distance. So you can see that I already sketched a landscape with a blue sky. Then we're gonna have a mountain that dominate the big part of the painting, and then a tree range stay far behind, and we're gonna have 3 or 4 couple of trees stay in the front. For the painting, I will block the tree in the foreground first with very light yellow, and I also use the same color to cover the meadow with very light yellow as well. And then I go a little more detail by adding shadow on the tree by picking a mid yellow color. So I have to make sure that I go a little bit detail on my trees before I paint the background. Actually, paint with alcohol marker for a landscape painting is very challenging for me. Here I just try to block the simple shape and then try to play around with the color. Like here, we all know that the autumn color is very warm and very bright with a lot of yellow, brown, and red. So later you will see that I try to balance the color by using blue for our sky and then violet and blue for our mountain as well. For the snowy mountain, I used a very light violet to mark our first shadow on the right and then try to avoid paint the snow area on the left side. This painting technique is very much like watercolor painting, so that's why I very afraid to use alcohol markers. Honestly, I used to avoid transparent medium like watercolor or markers. With wash or oil, I could cover mistakes, lay on top, and fix things. But with markers, it's absolutely no. Once you lay the wrong color, it just screams mistake. It looks so obvious. And the technique is totally opposite. With markers, you have to go from light to dark, highlight first, then deepen. That took me forever to wrap my head around. But after years of pushing myself, I finally can say I'm pretty comfortable with this medium. I have learned how to embrace the transparency instead of fighting with that. I know how to keep it versatile while still adding little fixes on my own style. So if you have been struggling with markers, trust me, it's totally normal and it does get easier the more you experience it. I've also learned that alcohol marker works very well with color pencil. So if you have been struggling to adding detail to your painting, I think you should consider using color pencil instead. Here I'm trying to add some final detail on the tree and on the metal, and using color pencil for this step make my life is so much easier, and I couldn't believe it, I can paint this landscape with alcohol markers. So that's my autumn mood board with the Ohuhu Honolulu set. Let me know in the comments which one of 3 painting was your favorite. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. It really helped me to keep making more cozy art video like this. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Now I will see you in the next one.